So my cameraman says he has the motivation and the time and the energy to learn to play the guitar. And last week we started looking at guitars online at one of my retailers that I have purchased guitars from. And I recognized that he has such really good questions, some fundamental questions that you might ask when you go visit a retailer for the first time or the 15th time, such as 6-string versus 7-string, nylon string versus steel string, electric acoustic versus acoustic. So rather than have him buy a guitar that may not turn into the motivational instrument that I would want it to be as his teacher, we decided to go out to Amazon and find a guitar under 80 bucks. It had a $5 off coupon, and just buy it. And so I'm here today to find out if this guitar we purchased, I didn't look at the reviews as I advise people to do, is worth that money, and will it be a guitar that he can learn from for at least the first year? So let's go, let's find out together if this is worth its dough. Let's go. Now, by the way, when you pick up something to open, you have to be very careful. One little slice on your fretting hand or your finger, your playing hand can ruin your guitar playing for weeks or months. Okay, all right, let's do it. Being super careful. I don't want to hurt the guitar either. Seems to be packed nicely, I like that. Not necessarily an indication of quality though. All right, setting it down. Ta-da! Oh, another box. Okay, open up the big box to find another box inside, so let's go. Got a nice little case. Manufacturer's called Treble. That's awesome. All right. I'm looking for the zipper. All right, it's packed nicely. Can't complain about that. All right. By the way, any guitar you open for the first time to me is kind of like Christmas. So it's exciting to see a guitar. Maybe not a Gibson or whatever, but it's still exciting to get a guitar in the mail. I love it. So far, the really good news is I don't hear any, everything seems like a solid piece of a guitar. So that's a good sign. So when I purchase guitars online, I've been very skeptical. Maybe this is my age talking, but I've been skeptical of the online world. So I always make sure there's a return policy. I've never, fortunately, had an issue of shipment, something broken, something didn't work yet. I'm buying reputable brands, I'm buying well-reviewed brands, but I haven't had a shipping problem of that nature yet, so that's a good thing. All right. This is fun, though. I kind of imagine like a first-time student and opening their guitar for the first time and just loving it. Nice finish, I like that. So what we have so far is a 4-bolt neck. It's nicely snug in the body. That's very cool. It's in the shape and the configuration of a Stratocaster. Nice. I'm going to put my glasses on if you don't mind. So some of the things that I look at are the Treble. Now the Treble is a little bit higher, but it's not bad. So what Treble is, one of the reasons we look at Treble is when you're pushing your finger, your fretboard finger, and I'm right-handed, so my left hand is the fretboard hand. We want a string of a guitar closer to the fretboard so it's easier to press down. If these strings are out here, it'd be really hard to press down. So travel, or action, is a very important factor when you are playing a guitar, specifically related to its ease of use of playing and learning the guitar. The last thing we want is a guitar to be a pain to play, so you lose motivation to play. Okay, let's keep going. It looks like it's nicely strung, probably out of tune, so I'm gonna tune it up. When I'm looking down the neck, I'm looking for bow. I'm looking for any kind of curvature in the neck, this way or this way. Although the guitar looks fine so far, I will tell you one of the worries I always have with less expensive guitars is the electronics. So the construction can be done quite well, but the electronics, the pickups, there can be a significant difference. And you sometimes won't know that until you play at volume. And you play in a setting, a professional setting, where your amp and your guitar can't make buzzes, can't make squeals, can't make noises. So anyway, but I haven't even plugged it in yet, so that's just a concern I have on less expensive guitars. So let's go on. Now I want to tune this up. I want to play it. So I'm going to tune the guitar up now using my favorite iPhone app to tune a guitar. I know you want to know, but I'm not going to tell you. You got to guess in the comments below. Okay, let's go. And you don't even need an amplification to tune it up, which I like a lot. Now, if you get a new guitar, or when you get a new guitar, remember that when you're first tuning up the strings, it's very likely that as you get tension in the string, as I just did, it's going to stretch out again. So you have to keep tuning it up until it stays in tune. A concern I often have also is not just the electronics, but it's also the construction and the tools they use. We have some really well-known machine heads or tuners. And that's something I look for in a good guitar because I don't want it to go out of tune in the middle of a session or the middle of a performance. So, okay, well, let's continue our tuning. You hear a little ding, that means it's in tune. Okay, close enough. Oh, that app that you're going to guess actually has a metronome built into it too, so that's really cool. Okay, so let's continue on. I'm going to plug it in now too. I want to hear how it sounds. I've got a little bitty 15-watt Marshall amp. You can use it in a nice little setting like a coffee house or any kind of small setting, really. Your house, wherever you want to go. Okay. All right, so we have sound. It's got a 5-position switch, which is, we have 3 pickups. These are called single coil pickups. And the 5-position mixes the pickups as well as plays them individually. So I push it up all the way to the far left. In my case, I'm right-handed. I'm pushing it far up to the left. Has a little more deeper sound. And if I push it far to the right, a little more tinny sound, and you'll find a lot of rock and rollers, Jimi Hendrix, a lot of rock and rollers use that setting. And I use that setting when I play a Strat. Now, I know it's a little bit out of tune, but so far, So far, I'm impressed with a $70-some-odd guitar. I think it could be a very good starting guitar. I don't see any issues so far of playability. The neck looks nice and straight. We also have a truss rod in it, so we can make those adjustments. Now, I didn't see them provide a truss rod, but I haven't gotten inside the bag yet. A truss rod wrench, which is a standard Allen wrench. But we have that so we can make adjustments. So far, as a beginning guitar, so far, we've heard the guitar play nicely. I don't hear any buzzing. I don't hear a lot of some of that electronic stuff that I worry about. I'm not playing at a super high volume, and I'm not using distortion. So we've tried it at its kind of calm state. Let's go after a little bit more rock and roll, a little more shreddy, and let's go for it. Let's see how that sounds. Okay, gotta get my glasses back on, excuse me. Okay. Okay, now, I just went to more volume. I went to distortion. Do you hear the noise? That's absolutely not an acceptable thing to have in a performance level. Even though you can kill the volume, there are plenty of times when the singer, you don't have an opportunity to kill the volume, or turn the volume down, excuse me. So that is a noise that I would not want in a performance setting, in a recording setting. I don't want any of that noise coming out of my amp, even when I'm using some distortion, okay? Okay, now, as much as I'm enthused about the $79 guitar, did you notice something? I am completely out of tune. We're gonna give it a little bit of a break because I just unboxed it and I just tuned it. But that is a significant amount of being out of tune to me. So, but hey, it can shred a little bit. So, but it's completely out of tune. So the things you might be concerned with a guitar like this, even though it's only $79, I still say it's a good learning guitar. It's a good thing to practice with your scale. Playing with distortion or without distortion, practice your scales. The things that would concern me are the tuners and the construction in that, and the tuners and the ability for the strings to stay in tune. It's mandatory. So you don't have any locking nuts that you might see on a PRS. You don't have a Floyd Rose, obviously, that you would see on an Ibanez or other types of guitars. The neck is a little bit thicker and bigger, but again, under the framework of can I buy a guitar that my cameraman can learn the guitar, learn scales, learn chord patterns, yes, this is a great beginner guitar. And then if he decides, I don't want to play guitar anymore, he can give it to somebody or give it away or whatever he wants to do with it, sell it if he wants to. So that is my review of a less than $80 guitar from Amazon. I'm going to keep playing it a little bit though. It's good to hear Led Zeppelin completely out of tune. Okay, I guess I just made the band with that audition. So, what does my cameraman do? What do I tell him? Does he keep this guitar? Keep it for 6 months, learn scale patterns, learn chords, learn notes by name, learn notation, practice, discipline, or does he up the ante a little bit, spend a little bit more dough, get a guitar that maybe fits him better, fits his style better, has more longevity, more quality of components? I'd love to know what you say. Just put it in the comments below, and that's it. Take care.